In the process of, proving he was the one who actually did this, Misanthropo accidentally doxed himself. Because in the video he posted showing the alleged attack in action, he forgot to cut out his CapCut ID. CapCut is owned by TikTok. If you're TikTok...
Bro, this is the nigga that y'all got hacked by.
Oh, what's up? Oh, what's up?
Yo, what up? It's Ahmadjay back to do another video. Today we're going to be reacting to a video by Atozi. The video is going to be on a teenager just hacked the Brazilian government. Bro, what the fuck, bro? You would think out of all the mishaps all in the past, like governments will just be, impeccable to all these hackers and have like the most type of intelligent people, like, as like a like a little security defense on there, and they're still getting hacked. I'm sorry, even in other countries it's still a mockery because there are smart people all around the world, not just in the US. And honestly, yeah, this just seems like unreal. Well, let's just get into it. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, but let's get it.
On the night Brazil won their second game in the World Cup, millions of Brazilians were woken up or had their celebrations interrupted by a maximum level emergency alert blasting through all their phones. And for a few moments, many assumed some catastrophe just happened. But as it turns out, no, there was no disaster, there was no attack, and there was no public safety emergency in the country at all. No, instead, authorities would later discover a hacker sent the alert, and then the person responsible wasn't even someone who was particularly skilled or really knew what they were doing. So apparently, a bored teenager from Sao Paulo, who I guess was just annoyed at the noise people were making outside after the game ended, decided to send the alert themselves. So if you think that's bizarre, yeah, it absolutely is.
So an ordinary teenager that didn't have skills did this. Oh yeah, they defense over there in Brazil for like security, all that is just trash. Like, how does that even happen? I know in the past like that kind of happened with some things in like the US, and at least the US kind of like learned from those situations and like kind of like had like the A1 hackers on their side and like a lot of smart ass people from the FBI or CIA or whatever they're from, and kind of got that cleared up.
Just set the scene. It's the early hours of Saturday, June 20th, 2026. Brazil just beat Haiti in the World Cup group stage a little bit over an hour ago. So as you could assume, Brazil being a massive soccer/football nation, things were going absolute crazy on the streets. So the streets are loud, people are celebrating, fireworks are going off, the whole 9 yards. In the middle of all that, phones across Sao Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Curitiba, Brasilia, Campo Grande, and several other cities start going off with an emergency alert. And this is the kind of emergency alert that just overrides everything. It's kind of like an Amber Alert in the US, or the kind of alert that went off in Hawaii that one time by accident, which tricked the whole population to thinking they were about to get nuked.
Yo.
But obviously, it overrides Do Not Disturb, overrides everything, because, that's what it's designed to do.
Não tem muito o que fazer, ele é o que isso, cara? Bom, alerta, é só o meu? Não, aqui também. Não, alerta da Defesa Civil de... Pô, meu irmão.
De não, que, gente? Tem uns bandos quebrando lá do...
And the alert read, Extreme Alert, Civil Defense, Misanthropia. So misanthropia, or misanthropy in English, means hatred of humanity. It's not really a word most people use on a daily basis, and it's definitely not the kind of word you would expect to see on a government emergency notification at 1:25 in the morning. So naturally, people had no idea what to make of this, and social media immediately lit up with a whole bunch of different theories. A power grid attack, a war, since a lot of people were half asleep and was awoken by this. And obviously, if you're sleeping, you wake up and you see misanthropia with the emergency alert going off, you could easily misread it as missile. But apparently,
honestly, if you're gonna hack the government and hack the systems before this, at least come up with a better ass idea. I mean, they said he didn't have no skills. At least come up with like a better message or something.
A lot of people also thought it was an alien invasion. So clearly, a lot of people were worried. So apparently, it wasn't a glitch. Someone had actually gotten inside of the government's emergency alert system and sent it out to everyone. Because some teenagers, when they're bored, they spin up Minecraft servers for their friends to play on, and others apparently hack government entities to send out fake emergency alerts. Regardless, though, by 1:30 in the morning, the platform had been taken offline. And Brazil's telecommunications regulator issued a statement clarifying that the alert hadn't come from any authorized person and that there was actually no actual emergency. So the states of Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro and Paraná all confirmed the same. And the federal police, essentially essentially the Brazilian FBI, they were called in to investigate. Oh, also, it's worth mentioning that apparently it was later revealed the same person had tried to send an alert to one of the cities that read, "Alien attack, humans, we have arrived." So clearly, whoever did this is quite the prankster. But unfortunately for them, that one failed to deliver, so they just changed it to the Misanthropia one. But the system was compromised and called for the IDAP, which stands for the Public Defense Broadcasting Interference. And it's essentially a platform used by their FEMA across the country to warn the population about natural disasters, floods, landslides, and so on and so on. And the platform has around 600 registered users spread across the different states and cities around the countries. And it connects to multiple delivery channels such as SMS, WhatsApp, Google's public alert system, and even cable TV. But I guess the most powerful one is the Civil Defense Alert, which is the cell broadcasting system. And this is the one that goes directly through the phone towers to every device in range and cannot be silenced. It also doesn't care if your phone is on Do Not Disturb or not. So essentially, like, if you're within a range of a tower that broadcasts it, your phone is getting it. And that's the part that got exploited on June 20th. Now, for context, if you're around in 2018, you might remember, obviously, what I mentioned earlier, the Hawaiian missile alert situation, where a government employee accidentally sent a real ballistic missile warning to the entire state of Hawaii during some routine drill. And during that time, people had like 38 minutes of genuine panic before a correction went out that there was no actual missile, just an insane.
It took them 31 minutes to correct that shit. It should not take that long, and just for them to be like, "Oh, no missile thing," or whatever, bro. This was 2018. Technology was still at a good height, and bro, and like when he mentioned that shit actually sending, connected to that cellular tower, sending every little message out to the to your phone, even if it's in Do Not Disturb mode. That's like ultimate power, bro. And I mean, I can get why bro was annoyed, but like, nigga, bro, no team could be this bored. And I wonder how they defenses or just got attacked like that by a dude that has no skills.
Interface mistake. So I guess there was like a 38-minute span where those billionaires who built all those like doomsday bunkers out in Hawaii were kind of like, "Oh, we're geniuses. This wasn't a massive waste of money." Obviously, I'm saying that without knowing what's going to happen in our future. Hopefully, we're all safe. But hey, I don't know. But regardless, what happened in Brazil on June 20th is that kind of stuff, except it wasn't an employee that accidentally pushed the wrong button. No, apparently it was some outside intruder who found a door that was supposed to be locked. But that door wasn't just unlocked. It wasn't even closed. Because when you hear government emergency system got hacked, you probably picture, I don't know, something like a team of people who made some sort of malware to get a whole bunch of information from people who work in the government. But no, this is not what happened whatsoever. So the person who allegedly did this goes by the handle Misanthropo Online. And they gave an interview to a Brazilian outlet called Tecmundo shortly after the incident. And here he explained exactly what he did. And what he described is genuinely difficult to believe for a system with this much responsibility, because he didn't write a single line of code. He didn't exploit some advanced tech vulnerability. No, he just simply found the login credentials for government employees that had been leaked online. Really?
What?
It was just out there in the open, apparently.
Yo, bro, you would think that, like, these people do not rotate their credentials every time. Like, bro, you're at like a good powerful stage where you probably need to rotate these numbers all the time. You know, hackers are just like on top of it and just hacking people at every turn, bro. Why don't you rotate your passwords every time? That'll be a better ass idea. And like the thing, this whole thing was leaked online. Y'all didn't. They got a lot of smart ass people in the government. Y'all didn't think this could possibly happen. They always coming up for every possible measure for like, you know, governments in each country. And y'all, this would have happened. I mean, I guess this kind of brings like a little bit, you know, shine the light on more stuff. It always takes some sort of, you know, big thing happening for them to reassure the whole little security system. I guess at least this will, you know, spice things up and take shit more serious. Hell. Oh my gosh. All right.
Apparently.
What do you think about that, Gary?
This shit just freeze. Come on, bruh.
Oh, he's dreaming. I whisper as if I'm not going to continue recording this video.
Sorry, bud.
But those employees had apparently never changed their passwords, and some of them had been exposed for years. So I guess once he got the credentials, he logged into the IDAP server like any other authorized user, because I guess from the system's perspective, he looked exactly like one of the government officials. So I guess the security system at the end of the day that was standing between him and waking up millions of people was a simple math captcha. Nice.
Wow.
Basically just a bot verification. But essentially, it seems like the consensus from people who work in cybersecurity, they all came to the realization that this guy isn't even a hacker, because the The door was just wide open. He just kind of walked in. So Misanthropo himself was pretty upfront about this as well. So when Techmundo asked him about how he found the credentials, he just said he looked them up on a data breach indexing site, and someone with enough time, I guess, could have found and used these passwords. And what makes this worse is he also claimed this wasn't even his first time accessing government systems in this way, because he'd also allegedly previously gotten into federal health registry platforms through the same method. All right, guys, we gotta tighten up the security a little bit here, because if this goofball can do that, people with more malicious intentions could, and that could be really bad. But in the immediate aftermath of the incident, while everyone was still trying to figure out what just happened, a separate guy showed up on social media claiming that he was actually the one behind it. And he was posting videos suggesting that he had done the whole thing, going full on bragging and I guess snitching on himself mode. And that's when people started paying attention to him. And that's also one of the reasons why I keep referring to him as they, because I actually don't know who's really behind this. But one thing I am pretty sure of though is this last guy, he definitely didn't do it, because he was using this whole moment to promote his music. And apparently that's what pushed the real person. We're actually not even sure yet, but this is what pushed Misanthropo to actually come forward. Because I guess watching someone else take credit for something he actually did, apparently it was just more than what he.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This will really push an ego. A lot of these niggas online will literally like they, especially when somebody comes out taking like credit for their work, they really do not like that, bro. Like it's like when people commit a crime, they just want notoriety for it, and when somebody else comes out taking advantage of that, bro, they was like, it was me, and then that gets them dumbasses arrested.
Was wanting to sit with. So I guess he just wanted to snitch on himself by coming forward. Or who knows, this could also be another clout chaser. I don't know, it's hard to say. But regardless, he showed up on Twitter under the handle of Misanthropias and started posting what looked to be behind the scenes footage of the actual breach happening in real time. And his whole thing with this was stop LARPing as me. And these videos do show what appear to be someone navigating the IDAP interface directly, queuing up alerts and selecting regions and the whole thing. And I guess between that and how detailed his posts were, the internet pretty quickly landed on the conclusion of, oh, okay, this was actually the guy. But of course, in the process of, you know, proving he was the one who actually did this, Misanthropo accidentally doxed himself. Because in the video he posted showing the alleged attack in action, he forgot to cut out his CapCut ID. CapCut is owned by TikTok. If you're TikTok...
Oh my god, bro. This is the nigga that y'all got hacked by. This is the nigga that like got into your credentials. Like, I'm sorry, this makes like governments, well, I mean, sorry, the Brazil government look like clowns, bro. Like, you don't change your passwords for a couple of years. You don't take fruition to that of somebody actually, like, you know, breaching that information, throwing it up online, and, you know, this type of person actually gaining some knowledge and, you know, hacking you. Well, not hacking you, well, getting inside your accounts and putting this whole thing on fire. So, and just a given how this nigga gets caught, bro, it's so hilarious.
TikTok username or CapCut usernames out there, you bet they can find you. Those apps probably know more about yourself than what you do. But obviously, that's like the back end side. On the front end side, people immediately noticed username and started tracing it back. And that's how they found this profile picture, which I'm gonna be very honest, I'm not sure if this is actually the guy or it's just some random e-boy. I also love like how everything just doesn't make sense whatsoever in this case. Like, why is it so easy to access a government platform, and why was it so easy to find the alleged?
I mean, because honestly, if you were like not a dumbass, you would have like a hacked video editor app, or don't use fucking CapCut as like a video to throw everything together when you know they're gonna show your username at the end. What the fuck, bro?
Just a hacker who got into the government platform, Brazil. Regardless, according to Techmundo's reporting, Misanthropo appeared to be a minor, so potentially a high school teenager from Sao Paulo. This is in a group chat that surfaced later. He mentioned he expected to spend at most a month in Foundation Casa, which is essentially the Brazilian equivalent of juvenile detention. In quote, he says, first they'll arrest me for a month at Foundation Casa, but that's essentially a state institution exclusive of Sao Paulo for minors who've committed offenses. So essentially, he potentially doxed himself twice. Awesome. But then for the main thing, his motivation for all this, he told the interviewer that it was just because he was bored and he was just annoyed at people after the game ended. He was annoyed at the noise. He was annoyed at the fireworks, and he described this as the worst side of people coming out. You know, boohoo that people are celebrating their team won on a Friday night. I don't know. Whatever. Regardless, though, the federal police confirmed they are investigating, but haven't commented publicly beyond that. And in the following week of the incident, the government announced a set of changes to the alert system. So access would be restricted, VPN would now be required to log in, and a two-factor authentication would be implemented. So thankfully, Brazil caught up to that now. So on the bright side, all this was exploited by a alleged bored teenager. And
wow, this story was mind-boggling. That whole incident like got them to step up their security. That's good. Like just the whole thing behind this is just crazy. Him ended up doxing himself twice. This is who you guys got like compromised by. This is low-key embarrassing. I'm not gonna cap. This is low-key embarrassing. I don't know how y'all like moved before now, but him like leaving his cat in that shit, like what type of rookie ass move is that? If you really want to prove that that did that shit, at least like go pay for some, or you know, have the hack version of the app at least. But well, like I said, so we kind of got that. What do you guys think of this whole thing? They're just kind of clowns nowadays. But don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Go check out the original video below by Atozi, and we are on the road to 850. Catch you guys in the next video.
He was the best guy around.
What about the people he murdered?
What murder?